Testing audio. Testing audio. All right, this should be perfect. All right, this should be perfect. What's up, guys?
Hello.
What's going on, everybody? All right, so heads up, just before we start trading, we have I'm gonna have to cut this off. Okay. So before we get started, very important reminder that we're trading through news today. So we're gonna have European Central Bank news just dropped right now. We're gonna go through the results of that. And then we have USD news dropping in 30 minutes for CPI, which is that inflation measure. So those are both supposed to be pretty big movers for the market. So we'll see if we can take advantage of those moves. Okay, good to go so far. So real quick before we start the stream, let's look at the dollar. The dollar has been consolidating between that 89.5 and 91 range. So it's been going up and down, up and down. Every time it gets to the top, we see these wick rejections, and then price ends up coming back. Wick rejection, price came back. Wick rejection, price came back. Wick rejection, price came back. Now that we're back up in this area, we see another wick rejection. I'm expecting price to drop. That's the base case scenario for the dollar during the news. So if the dollar drops, that means everything that has a USD at the end of it tends to go back the other way. So Euro USD, GBP USD, and then gold, those could potentially see some upside. So that's what I'm keeping my eye on now. We'll just have to see how the dollar reacts to the news. We're going to keep an eye on it. We're going to watch the news. As soon as the news comes out, we're going to have a pretty good idea of what the market wants to do. Then we can take advantage. SPX hit take profit 1 from the signal yesterday. So if you guys took this trade, we put a sell limit at 42.34. So we got wicked into the trade. We were probably in about 7 pips of drawdown at most, and then the market ended up dropping. We took partial profits. I was expecting price to come all the way back to retest. Price made a minor retest and then continued to take profit 1. So you guys can see after take profit 1, we started to have minor wick rejections at that support level. The next step is going to be to see if we either break or if we reject back up. So this is one of the things that we're going to look at on the stream. And NASDAQ just hit TP1 as well. So we'll see if there's a potential retest for us. For NASDAQ, I'm looking for this retest of the 78 and then a drop to 61. So I'm going to keep this up for the stream, and then we'll see if we can find some opportunities. Euro formed a perfect head and shoulder. Our stop profit got hit this morning. Omar called us short yesterday because of the change in momentum. And so the direction was holding support. We managed to get 52 pips on the upside. Then when the market came back down, we start to form a lot of resistance around this area. Then we have this head and shoulders formation. I'm expecting a push down to this next level, which is the 78 from the previous low. So we'll go higher low, potentially another higher low. So for now, we're expecting this thing to push through. But like I said, guys, it's news. Whatever the result of the news is, that's what the market's going to do. So just because you have a technical structure drawn out doesn't really mean much in terms of the result. Because if you keep in mind, the market doesn't care about the lines on your screen because they can't see them. And we also don't know what the outcomes are going to be. Sometimes it's worth waiting that extra 15 minutes for news to drop to see if we get the market going our way. So pretty straightforward. Those are the things on the menu. We're going to be looking for some trades. Oh, and if you guys took the GJ, if you guys still had a buy limit at 154.4, you're in minor profits right now. So if you wanted to protect your trade, the time would be now, since it's retesting resistance, right? It could most likely continue back to the downside before we go up. So if you are in this trade, you're in profits right now, I would either secure the trade, which means put my stop loss and break even, and then potentially secure partials if you have a big enough position size. We'll go through it in more detail in a second. Okay, welcome back everybody to another Chart Addicts live stream. We're taking over New York sessions today. We have the entire core team on. The way this is going to work is if you are a Chart Addicts member, you are in the private Zoom link, so we can interact. You guys can unmute yourselves. You guys can mention me in the chat. You guys can message me privately. If you have any pairs you want me to look at, if there's any moves you want me to look at, put them in the chats. If there's a certain markup that you want me to look at, send the TradingView link in the chat. If you're watching this at home on YouTube, you guys can just follow along. The YouTube comments are going to be there. We'll go back and read the YouTube comments later. And hope to see more of you guys as members on the inside so we can actually have a dialogue when we do these live streams. So guys, that's the groundwork. We're going to start off with probably looking at some of the news because we have news coming up in 30 minutes. We're going to talk about some of the trades that we're actively watching and waiting for during this 2-hour session. And then as the session goes on, we're just going to be throwing out knowledge, value, quick tips and tricks. So worst case scenario, you guys should be walking away from this call with either more knowledge, more confidence, more clarity on trading, or all three of these, all right? And profits. So that's the live streams, guys. Before we get started, are there any questions in the chat? All of the private members, let me see something in the chat before we get started. Before we get started, let me see something in the chat to let me know that you guys are alive, and then we'll go ahead and kick off the live streams. While you guys do that,
let's get it.
ooh, Professor O in the house.
Been itching for this all night, man. Had to go to sleep early.
Yes, sir. Yo, if you guys have an Instagram and you guys want to shout us out on Instagram, that would be awesome. All right. Is anybody here on YouTube right now?
I think there's like 9 people waiting.
All right. Did it? Could you let me know if it started already, or do I have to manually start it? Because if I pull both up right now, there's going to be a lot of feedback from the audio.
No, it did not start.
All right, give me a quick sec, guys. Let me try to get this figured out.
All right. Want me to start it?
Oh, it looks like it started. Do I have to manually start it? Now we're on live. Okay. All right, guys. Let's go ahead and get this call started. I talked to you guys briefly about how we're going to do today. Let's go to the news real quick because that's kind of what's coming up here in a second. I'm going to go to Forex Factory, show you guys what we're looking at. So there's two big news that's coming out today. 7:45. This is about 20 minutes ago. Euro news came out. They came out with their monetary policy statement, which is like, hey, here's how we think the economy is going. Here's some plans of action for what we're going to do in the future. And they also give a recommendation for what the price of their or their interest rate. What? All right, that's better. And then using that interest rate and using all of this information, analysts will look at the stuff and we'll say, okay, is the euro going to be bearish or bullish based on that news? At 8:30 a.m., then they're going to do a press conference where after they release this document, they're going to go in there and explain what they meant. Say, wait, I know it sounds like we said the economy's bad, but let us explain. And then they just usually try to soften the blow to make sure there's not a lot of market reaction. So that's expected to push a lot of the euro pairs. Since we're looking at Euro USD, we'll take a look at how this news plays out. The most important thing to focus on is the inflation news at 8:30. So anybody who's been watching financial news or who's even turned on financial news in the past 3 months, you guys will notice that inflation is the biggest topic. Everybody can notice that prices are going up in their daily lives, but analysts are claiming that there's no inflation. The actual inflation numbers that we get aren't changing. So if my haircut's getting more expensive, the food's getting more expensive, the gas at the gas station is more expensive, my kids' education is more expensive, and everything in between is getting more expensive, that proves to us that there's inflation happening. But if the analysts are saying there's no inflation, that means that there's inaccuracy in the reporting, and that's a huge flaw in the system. So every time that this CPI number has been coming out, we've had huge reactions in the market because inflation is such a hot topic. So that's kind of why we're watching it today. We're going to be trading through that news. We're going to expect some kind of move on the DXY. And just looking at the DXY right now, it's sitting at resistance. Every time it sits at this resistance and we have a wick rejection to the upside, we tend to come crashing back down. So I'm expecting the dollar to come crashing back down at the open of this news. But like I said, we won't know until the news drops. Now, aside from inflation, there's also unemployment claims. What are the three most important metrics of the US economy that we use to gauge? One is GDP, gross domestic product, which essentially is the size of an economy. CPI, or any other inflation measure. This is core CPI, so consumer production index, consumer price index, which is the price of the stuff that we pay for at the store. So all consumer goods, including food and services. And then the third one is unemployment or employment. How many people in your country have jobs? So if the employment rate is if the employment rate is high, people have jobs. If the interest rates are low, money's pretty cheap to get. And if the inflation numbers are stable, that means you have a healthy economy. When your GDP is low, which we have right now, it means the growth is really stagnant. When the core CPI is not coming out as we expected, that means that things are getting more expensive, but people aren't getting paid more. So the average worker that's making anywhere between $7 to however many dollars an hour, they're not going to get paid more per hour, but all the goods and services they're expected to pay for are going to be more expensive. So that's the biggest thing we're looking at today, those inflation numbers. And then we have the dollar. That's the main focus of that inflation news. All right. Bearish dollar, bullish, everything else. So we'll see how these react. So I'm going to put EU to the side since shorts are already active. Let's just try to focus on GJ, and we'll focus on indices as well. So the only trade I'm looking for this live stream while we're all on here together is if the price goes back above my support level and creates a floor there, creates support, then we're all going to buy it up from 154.5 all the way up to 156. Okay? It's pretty straightforward. If price continues to test resistance, oh my God. If price continues to test resistance and wants to drop, then we have this trend line patiently waiting for us. Okay? Look back in the past, trend line right there. We drew it all the way out. It hits this like random point on the chart. Then we say, is this actually a random point on the chart? We look left to verify. Oh, it's a significant institutional buying level. Every time price gets here, the market tends to buy up. And so if the market does reject and come back down here, we're taking buys at 153.5. So there's a 100 pip range right here where we could take a trade. And honestly, since we're on the live stream, we could potentially take that short down if that's the case. So just as a measure of, just a little bit of curiosity, who took the SPX session yesterday or the XPX signal? I'm going to read the chat. We said, let's go. We got Andrew Roy. We got Chris on the call. My guy, Alex. Andrew Johnson. Of course, Izzy made it. Baska, good to see you. Stefano, the GOAT, badass trades himself, gracing us with his presence. Buenos noches or buenos dias.
Buenos dias, brother. How are
How
you?
you doing, bro? Living the dream.
Let's go. Let's get this.
All right, cool stuff. Says Adam here, let's get it. Cold world. Awesome. All right, guys. Anybody who trades with me knows that 8:15 is pretty early. The markets are going to take some time to set up. So we're going to hang out for a little bit. I might play some music for like 10-minute stretches. I'm not going to bore you guys to death with my voice. My voice is not that good. And we're not going to sit here and beat around the bush. If there's a trade to be taken, I guarantee you guys, I'm going to let you know. If I take a trade, I guarantee that you guys are going to hear it. I'm going to hold my phone up to the microphone and you guys are going to hear that, that MetaTrader sound. So if it comes down to actual trading and execution, I guarantee that we're going to be as clear as possible. The rest of the time, this is not going to be like other live streams you guys might have got on, where we just start, talking about whatever. Let's say we start talking about video games or something. We will not be talking about video games on this stream. everybody here is an adult. I respect you guys' time. I respect you guys for getting on this call. So we're either going to be making money, or if we do hang out for a little bit, I'll just play some calm music, and then we'll come back in like 10, 15 minutes. Okay. Dope. He says you have a motivational voice. I don't know about the voice, but I have a motivational energy. That's for sure. I can't help myself. I don't know what to tell you guys. Like I don't know if this makes any sense, but I really, really want to see you guys win. And so doing something like this live stream where we can hopefully show you guys our thought process and our mindset while we trade, that should give you guys motivation in and of yourself to say, yo, this guy's just doing it hanging out in his room with no shoes on. I could do the same. And it's true. As soon as we show you guys doing it, you guys can definitely go home and recreate the same energy for yourself. It's the clarity on the charts. I've already told you guys every price level we're watching. That's not going to change this entire call. The only thing that's going to change during the call is what the market does and then how we react to that momentum. If the market starts to shift momentum, then we might change our bias. But the zones that I have and the ideas and structure that I have, those don't change. He said with no shoes on. Yeah, bro, I'm in my room. This is the office. He said, bro, he said free the feet.
Oh, man. Hey, we just booked 70 pips on gold, brother.
Ooh, I did see that signal come out, brother. Congratulations.
Come on, man. That was a limit, man.
Everybody, can we give a round of applause for Stefano?
Nah, you don't need to do it now.
Put it in the chat, bro. Put it in the chat. No, we gotta live it up.
No, right.
We win so this is something I've noticed the past couple weeks. We win so often that we never really take the time to sit there and celebrate the wins. And I know that we just get up and dust ourselves off and we just move on after trading. But seriously, bro, nobody is winning this often. Nobody is hitting these nice trades and catching entries and watching zones like we are. So when it happens, we'll give a huge shout out every single time because it takes skill.
Oh, yeah.
Always remind yourself, guys, if everybody could trade, everybody would trade. All right, this is not one of these companies where I'm going to sit here and gas you up and tell you everybody can be a trader. That's just plain and simple. It's not true. But if you're here and you took the chance to be coachable and you took the chance to work with someone personally for your personal achievement, yeah, you're going to be successful in trading, right? It's the way that it goes. So, Stefano, I'm guessing the short was from the retest of we have support right here, retest of that 1882 range.
1882. We actually had a limit at 1883, and we took the wick.
83?
So, yes, sir. Look at the signal, bro. Yeah. I actually shorted it at 1888 last night. So I did that on the Discord group. I didn't send out a signal, but this morning I was looking at a London session and analyzing. I said, we're breaking this support right there, so we'll probably get it retested. So, and yeah, indeed, we took a limit at the 1883, and that worked out. That worked out pretty well. So
that worked out perfectly, brother. Yeah. Good trade. Good trade.
Yeah, pretty nice.
Wow, but you know what I see now? Continuation of bullish trend.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm seeing. So we can potentially take some buys. We'll see. Let the market settle, and I don't know. I'm waiting for that closure, bro.
Where are we at right now? 61.
Yeah, I think it needs to push a little more. My final TP is around 1870. I think Ben had a target of 1865, so we're around the same area. But I think 1870 is the second TP, which yeah.
I'm sorry, brother. I might have to be with Ben on this one. Look at that. Look at where the 78 is.
78. Yeah, I told him that's a nice area. So 1865. I told him that's a really nice area.
Yeah, major rejections right there, or minor rejections right there, and then another rejection right here. But your 70 zone is a stronger rejection because look at the size of the candles that formed at that price. Large aggression right there. The size of the candles that formed at this bottom price, not as strong.
I like that.
75 or 65 is a lower risk entry, but 71 is a higher probability entry. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So you're more likely to be in the trade if you took it at the 71 because it might not even hit the next level. But if you were worried about the size of your stop loss, you would wait until the 78.
Sure. Yeah, I like that a lot. 65. Yeah, it's right there, the 78.6. You know, that's my level, bro. Oh man, I like that. We
Like you
probably take
guys trade gold, you trade gold more than I do. Does it respect the 61 or the 78 more?
I always take it at the 78. I don't base myself. I don't base gold a lot of the gold trades on the Fibonacci itself.
Right.
More like support and resistance most of the time. But I do see that on the smaller scale, the Fibonacci gets respected on the 78.6. So
Okay. Fair enough for me. And yeah, you made me kind of look back on the higher time frames, just kind of see where we are. We're at a pretty important buy level. If you look left, this was a shorting zone before where the market was using it as resistance. Then the market shifted and started to use it as a floor.
yeah.
So the way I look at it is if there's a lot of buying pressure right here, there's a lot of buying pressure right here. That means there's also a lot of buying pressure at that same exact price. That's kind of why we're seeing that rejection now. If it's strong enough to like wick up like these candlesticks did, then we can put a buy limit, catch the retest, and then catch the continuation.
That was good.
So we'll see. It just depends on what the market does. If it's the same as what it did on the left, and we see that rejection, we'll know. We'll know which way it's going to go. All right, guys, we got GJ breaks. There's about 40 minutes left in this candlestick. It could still reverse back down, so it could come up and hit this level and then continue bearish. So my two conditions for taking this next buy position are this current candlestick that's forming on the 4-hour needs to close above my support level. And then these next candlesticks need to form support and close above this yellow zone as well. So it looks something like this.
Potential head and shoulder.
On
If it closed above the 154.5.
Oh, I see what you mean. Like this?
Yeah, it's forming at the head right now. Yeah.
Yep, I see that 100%. This is why the strategy that I use runs on the market has to close above, and then the next candlestick has to close above that area as well. If you get both conditions, then you can take the buy. That is the reason that we took the Euro USD buys the other day, by the way. It was sort of like an inverted head and shoulder. The market dropped out. It came back above, and then we caught the retest back inside the range. And that's why we were able to catch that 50 pips. All right, guys, dollar is starting to go bearish. So I'm like we said before, that usually indicates Euro USD bullish, GBP USD bullish, and potentially gold bullish. The GU making its fifth touch on that 61 zone after having tapped the 71. All right, GU is actually looking good. I'm going to add this to the watch list. So what I'll do is if the market does the same thing as GJ, if the market closes above support, and then we get retest candles that also close above support, then we can take a long position. The GU has ranged so much. Yeah, that's my favorite. When the market ranges, guys, if you're not making money when the market ranges, then you're probably not going to make money when the market's in momentum. Because it really doesn't get easier than when the market is literally going up and down. All right. If all you did was sell at the blue and buy at the blue, you'd make money. Well, actually, you would lose money here. You would lose money down here on this wick, but you would make money everywhere else. Now you would lose money here too. But as soon as it's going up and down, as soon as you've identified the range, which is usually after 3 points, you've identified the range. When the market comes back down to a discount, that's your opportunity to buy. When the market comes back up to that same resistance level, that's your opportunity to short. And so right now, we're back at that floor. So real simply, we're just going to wait for the market to break up, create support, and then keep going. And like I said, guys, if you have an Instagram and you want to give us a quick shout out, make sure to tag us in your story at Chart Addicts, where we post everybody that gets on. And also, guys, quick news. Forgot to even say this. How did I even forget to mention this? Welcome back, everybody, to the first ever live streams. If you're just hopping on, if you hopped on early, if you hopped on late, welcome. The way these streams are going to go, they're pretty straightforward. If we see a trade, we're going to call it out. Signals will be provided and parameters will be provided. This is the first stream, so we have something very special for you guys. We're doing an Ethereum giveaway. So I'm going to ask some questions throughout the live stream. If you answer it correctly, I'll reach out to you after the call, and then you're going to be awarded some free Ethereum, right? Whether it's $25 of Ethereum, $50 of Ethereum. Okay? Fair enough. Can I see something in the chat if that's cool with everybody? If everybody's cool with getting free Ethereum, let me know in the chat. If anyone has problems with getting free Ethereum, let me know now.
Free money.
Come on. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. All right, good stuff, guys. So since we're just waiting for the markets to close, we got about 30 minutes. I'm going to go through the CPI real quick and just explain what inflation is. I made a nice PowerPoint for you guys, and hopefully this gives you guys a good perspective on what inflation actually is, so that when this news drops, we can have a more informed perspective as to what we're looking at. So real quick, what's an overview? Real quick, what is inflation? Inflation, on the simplest way that it can be understood, is an increase in prices and a fall in the purchasing power of money. So your $100 can only buy you $95 worth of stuff. That's inflation. When you go to the store and bread was $3 and now it's $4, and in 5 years, bread's going to be at $5, and in 5 years, bread's going to be at $6, that's inflation. So we use this graphic to kind of show the price of bread over time. In 1980, a loaf of bread was 50 cents. In 1990, a loaf of bread was about 75 cents. And then you guys can see it just keeps going up every decade by a magnitude of almost $1 or $2. So that's a function of inflation. The purchasing power of your money is getting weaker and weaker over time. So you need more dollars or more local currency to buy the same amount of goods. The countries dealing with this on the hardest right now would probably be Venezuela, and it'd probably just be Venezuela. They're going through something called hyperinflation, where their local currencies just become so worthless that it's going to take them millions of units of the local currency to buy the same thing like bread. So you need 1 million bolivars just to buy a loaf of bread. That's the worst case scenario of inflation. Now, there's 3 different types of inflation. The one that's releasing today, or the news that's releasing today, is consumer price inflation. That's the consumer price index. Or is the value of prices in the open market that consumers pay getting higher or lower? Is the stuff at the store getting higher or lower? Is gas at the gas station getting higher or lower? The other 2 types are asset inflation and wage inflation. Wage inflation means that you're getting paid more. So as things get more expensive and as the purchasing power of money gets weaker, your salary goes up in order to keep up with that inflation rate. The third and most important to me is the asset inflation. This is what drives markets like crypto. This is what drives markets like stocks. This is what drives markets like real estate. All of these things are priced in. Sorry, guys, I'm getting some feedback. I might have to mute someone's mic. All of these things are priced in US dollars. And so if the purchasing power of the dollar gets weaker, you need more dollars to buy the same amount of house. And so the value of the house goes up. You need more dollars to buy the same stock. And so the prices of stocks go up and the valuations go up. You need more dollars to buy 1 Bitcoin. And so the value of Bitcoin is going to go up, or the price of Bitcoin goes up. So those are the 3 main types of inflation. There's wage inflation. Are you getting paid enough to keep up with the rising prices? Consumer price inflation is the price of the goods and services that you pay for getting higher or lower. And asset inflation are the things that we own, the tangible and physical assets and intellectual property, getting more or less expensive over time. So what's the results of inflation? The cost of living goes up. The cost of leisure goes up. You guys want to go to the movies. You guys want to go get a haircut. You guys want to do these things. They get more expensive. And then asset prices go up in value. So just to go ahead and wrap up this inflation, assets tend to increase in price as a result, and cash tends to lose purchasing power. So based on everything that we just learned, what would you do as an investor to make sure that you're protected from that you're protected from inflation? What's a few options that could protect you from inflation based on what we just talked about in that presentation? A whole free ETH is good for me. Ben, I'm gonna give you 0.000586 of an ETH. All right, while you guys load up those answers, I'm gonna check the news. The inflation numbers just released. Let's see if they've updated. When you guys go on Forex Factory and you see those reload buttons, that means that the news has dropped. It just hasn't reloaded on the screen, so we're waiting. And when I look at these, it's not really about the previous. I'm not comparing it to the previous change. I'm comparing it to the forecast. So the analysts have all forecasted. This is a number that's based on the consensus of all the forecasters in the market. So if the reality is a lot different than what the market expected, that's when we have these corrections. We have the market make violent gyrations to try to correct whatever, mistake that they were trying to avoid. All right, so step one, we're getting movement above that support level. Let's see if we close there. SPX still running. Guys, who's still in the SPX trade? I'm riding this thing all the way to take profit. So just for you guys that are getting on that either aren't in the signal or are watching on YouTube, this was the original SPX signal. We had a sell limit at 34.34. Or sorry, 42.34. Price came up, wicked us into that entry, and then now we're bleeding. We had essentially a zero risk entry. Not zero risk, sorry, zero drawdown entry. That's still in profits right now. And I'm checking my phone right now just to see if we're still in profits. Guys, 180 pips and running. 180 pips and running. Oh, man, oh, man. All right, I guess we have our answer, guys. News pushed the dollar bullish. So GU bearish, gold bearish, and Euro USD bearish. Let's check on those real quick. XAU still rejecting the 61. GU. Smaller time frames looking momentarily bullish. Yeah, pre-market open, I don't see a lot of entries. What I do see is a lot of confirmations at the pre-market. So 4-hour candles close. The next candles that retest, we can take buys. And same with the other pairs.
Peep EG.
Euro GBP.
Euro GBP. Exactly.
Ooh, beautiful rejection.
Goes flying, bro, and it just hit our second TP.
It's such a weird fucking situation that you're in.
Ooh. Damn. Damn. That was the entry at the 61.
Yeah, bro. Like that was my TP hit to the pip, bro. 170 just knocked me out.
Stefano. Oh my.
Knocked me out right at exactly 1870.
Bro.
That's my TP.
Bro, why didn't we take the buy limit? Oh man. God damn.
That's a really, really good ass trade. I was
GJ though.
Starting to close up. Did GJ hit entry?
Ooh, baby.
Ooh, let's go.
Let's freaking go.
Let's go. Yo, I'm gonna send a screenshot in the members chat right now.
This news made the market move so quick. It's so hard to actually send out a signal or something. It's like you just gotta like just execute right away, you know.
For sure. I mean, the thing about the news is there's two ways to play it. One, you're okay with missing the move, and so you'd rather wait for a confirmation, let it hit the zone, reject, and if it goes without you, it's fine. Or you set buy limits and traps, and you're okay with the market kicking you out and then going your way. I'd much rather take the first route. Always.
You'd rather wait.
I'd rather wait for sure. Because the whole point of this game is not to trade, right? It's to make money. And so
Right.
if there's a lower probability of me winning this trade because of the volatility, I'd much rather wait for a confirmation. GJ right now just confirmed the direction. If the next candle closes above the support, bro, there's a 90% chance we're moving bullish. So I could have wasted, I could have like tried to rush the sell to catch it down here, or I could have tried to like, set a buy stop or something to go through, or I can just wait for it to retest and make a guaranteed profit. It's not guaranteed, but the probability is there because the market already showed its hand. It's already exposing how much bullish interest there is. So it's not as much gambling at that point. It's literally more just the market told me it's bullish. We in. But I just sent a screenshot in the chat of my entry for GJ. I just took partial profits.
Yo, peep AJ signal.
AJ signal, was it a long?
It was a long off of 0.86, 0.886.
Yes, sir.
Off of the 61, excuse me.
Yep. It's back at short levels. So that'd be like a take profit one zone right there. Every single time the market gets here, reverses. Every single time it gets here, reverses. Every time it gets here, reverses. Every time it gets around here, it reverses. We're back here. You might just see a minor test and then a push. But when price is in consolidation, buy low, sell high. That was a great catch off that support. This choppiness, though. Yeah, you can catch about 20 pips each time just trading in the range. So if you guys set buy limits and sell limits inside of AJ, you'd basically just be able to like buy low, sell high, catch like, 15 to 20 pips at a time.
Good morning, all.
Hold on.
Roy, good morning.
Is that who I think it is?
Gentlemen, everyone, I've been listening. Sorry, my computer was frozen. All I could see is I could hear you, and I couldn't do anything else. So I had to delete some background stuff. Do me a favor. Good morning, all. Thank you so much for being on this live stream. Apologies. My name is Troy Knight. Roy, do me a favor. Jump on Chat Addicts and the Gold Snipes, if you don't mind. And we can see how we could have smashed that gold. I was trying to tell you, couldn't speak, just hit 120 pips of pre-structure. Look above, yep, click on that one.
Yep.
So we had this beforehand, guys, zone to zone. The ones that you can actually see that there's no color is micro zones. What do I mean by micro zones? Zones that we are expecting them only to last for a little bit of time, probably only under the 1 hour. The big colored ones are major zones between 4 hours and the daily. And what did we see? Gold do exactly the same thing that it did prior to NFP.
Wait,
what do I mean?
Sorry, Troy. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. We're about to buy US.
Go. Yep, go.
Ah, shit. God. Never mind. Sorry. It's already gone. This was too high. It was right under I was trying to enter this before it pushed, but now it's about to rip.
There's always a pullback, though. There's always a pullback. So,
Not on this. If it pulls back, it's going to pull back to these previous highs. The risk is still going to be below this wick, so it's too high. God, it was just.
man, that thing is flying.
Oh, look at it move.
Gold is moving, bro. Holy moly.
Yes, sir. Remember, Stefano, what I was saying to you?
Yes,
It's
exactly.
that,
Hey,
to a T.
remember we talk about that zone, and I think we also spoke about that small little congestion there. You said it was traffic, but that's why I targeted 1870. It was beautiful, you know. Oh man, and you had that buy right there. I was just
Spot
looking at
on.
it. It just reminded me of you.
Well, as I jumped on, literally I hit an entry waiting to see the bounce of the zone and just 120 pips straight up. Like I couldn't speak. I could just hear you guys for some reason. And that's
Beautiful.
why
That's a
yeah,
certain move.
straight up. But guys, if we understand structure and if we understand what the market is doing, what do I mean? How smart money will always try and manipulate the price, one, to trick us, so to fool us to go the wrong way, and two, think about it. If you want to buy something in the market, would you rather pay $2,000 or would you rather pay $1,800? So they know ahead of time that they want to buy. So they manipulate the price, they push it down. Everybody, they suck more people in now to sell because everybody's lack of patience, especially retailers. Right? Remember, Stefano, what I was saying to you yesterday? I'm just going to wait. I'm not going to buy. I'm not selling. I'm not buying. I'm just waiting because price was kind of stuck somewhere. But as soon as I hit our zone, I thought a little bit of confirmation on the pullback, waited for the news. News came. What did news do? Fake out, started dropping. So it's sucking people into what? Into selling. And then it does the reversal and just pushes up. And if you guys have a look, it's exactly the same setup. And the market does have a lot of similarities and they use a lot of similar patterns. Exactly the same thing prior to NFP. They push the market down, sucking people in for a sell. Now, I'm not saying you can't profit off a sell. 100% you can. Like we discussed, Stefano, yesterday, you just have to be fast. You just have to take your 30, 40, 50, 70 pips and get out. And what did the market do? Look at that rejection. Zone to zone, exactly in the zone.
So let's focus on the next move. Troy, what are you seeing now at this point? Because that trade's already left the station. So what would be the next? What would be the next idea?
I'd say, can you just go into mine for a second? Because I need to look at my chart. So go into gold snipes if you don't mind. So I don't want to mess around too much with mine. I'm worried I'm going to be stuck. Yeah, the last one. So blow the last one up. Yeah, see, we're actually pushing inside a zone. So I'd say a lot of the volume has already gone in and we see a massive, massive move. So that move is very possibly exhausted already. So they don't want to give you the opportunity to jump in. So that's why you need to have your setups. And I'm looking at my phone and I can see that price already kind of pushing back down. So we are in a situation where we just have to be patient right now. Roy, we're still in a massive zone. I guess short term price is bearish, but definitely overall, since the last 2 months or something, price has been bullish. Now in the bigger structure, we're still bearish, but I think overall we're bullish. So we just have to wait to get out of that zone. See that macro zone that we're currently sitting in?
Yep.
We'll just have to be patient. And I think price is on a pullback now.
Yeah, I could see that for sure.
So keep popping to other things that you're looking at, and I'm happy to jump in if you want me to and give my opinion. But yeah, that would have been a beautiful move. And well done, Stefano. That was 1870. Whew, that was spot on.
That was spot on, man. That's crazy.
Yeah. Too good. Too good.
All right, guys. Secure partial profits on GBP JPY position. If you guys were in that buy limit at 155.4, secure partial profits were about 65 pips in profit. As soon as the market pulls back to around the 154.5 level, we can take re-entries. But now that the market's moved, guys, we don't really have a lot of entries left for us.
Have a look at GA for a second. Gee, we should just look at GA.
I'm actually looking to
Got it.
take EG sells in like 15 minutes.
Which cells?
EG sells in 15 minutes. I sent the markup in my channel. I'll actually send it again right now.
Yeah, that's the one we were looking at earlier. Is that resistance? Oh no, that was AJ. This is Euro.
I just sent it in my channel.
Retest the 862. Is that what you see?
I just sent it in the Discord. Right there. Third touch, head and shoulders, 61. And if that candle closes like that, it would be a promising.
You wouldn't want to wait for a pullback at least?
It's nah, I'm gonna execute off that candle.
Okay. Yeah, I don't trade Euro GBP because honestly, it's the pip count is just really slow. Same with most of the
$13 a pip.
currencies. Not the pip
Okay.
count. I mean,
Look at GA for a second, Roy.
That's still about 65 pips to TP. About 45 pips left. There it is. I've been keeping up with your markups on GA all week, Troy. I see what you're looking at where there was this entire area of congestion and price started to form support at the previous candlestick's highs. So floor being formed where the previous ceiling used to be, showing a change in the trend of, or sorry, a continuation in the trend. Then we see this giant pin bar form. That's the liquidity that we needed.
100%. It's moving. It's cooking. Look at UJ as well. I think, Stefano, are you still on a buy on UJ? I hope you are.
So for GA, I think that we test this trend line, see a minor pullback, and then continue through because the trend is bullish. So obviously we're going to end up here at some point. I think that we hit some minor resistance, come back down a little bit, and then we can catch a push to the upside. Potentially an inverted head and shoulders right here. If the market wants to push a little bit higher, come back down at a retest, we can catch that move.
Yeah, Troy, I actually broke even on UJ. I didn't like the consolidation, so I'm like, I just gotta get out.
They were just waiting. Have a look at it now. They were just waiting for the news because I was keeping an eye. I've seen what I saw on UJ as well, and then I realized I remember seeing on your Zoom call that you had a buy, so I went and checked your setups, and they were just literally manipulating the market.
Oh,
and
my Lord!
Really exploded. Yep.
Jesus, look at that.
Yes,
Stefano, guys,
Jesus.
Stefano was talking. We're talking yesterday night, and we literally called this move. Well, he
remember
that
dollar bearish.
He's like, watch, we're gonna see some wicks to the upside. It's gonna close with a pin bar, and then we're gonna come back down. That's exactly what he said.
Is that we see those wicks, man, and they do get retested. Remember that when I told you I like those wicks when I see those wicks, I see a retest on those wicks. So,
for sure.
Man, that call on the dollar, man. Props, bro. The hands down, that's your call right there. I've just been following you, bro.
All right, guy. Damn. So that EU re-entry would have been right there.
Dollar melting. Jesus.
Yeah, brother. Look, the overall direction of the dollar is bearish. We all know this. The market tried to push higher during NFP, but what happened? Sellers proved they have more volume than the buyers will ever have. Like they couldn't break out of the zone the first time, second time, third time. They tried to break out once, sellers brought them right back down, and then sellers controlled the zone the whole way through. So it wasn't going to change randomly if there was no news to push it. Does that make sense? And so naturally the market was going to reject. And then as soon as we break out of this this wedge, then I think we're going to make it back down to 89.7. But yeah, we've been talking about this as soon as the CPI news comes, the inflation news, today's the day. I've been saying all week, we're probably not going to get the volume we need until this inflation news comes out. The market pushed up, it kind of faked everybody out, and then we had the real direction. Honestly, should have set some faster trades, should have been a little bit quicker on the ball, but that's okay. It's no problem.
Jump into gold snipes if you can. I got my drawings for the dollar before and right now. Look how beautifully he reacted off the jump. So if you press on the previous go up, so it takes you, so people can see live. So click, on the tabs. So that's before. So that's what I've seen. And if you go right down, some news there for you guys.
Yep. That's that zone.
Perfectly reacted.
If you guys want to recreate that, it would be basically like all this resistance area right here, all the support area down here. We're going to head back down, hit this trend line. All right, guys, let's do a quick giveaway. Can you guys give me one quick second? All right, let's do GJ real quick. Let me ask the members a quick question. So what are two potential moves that we can make now that the market's already pushed? What are two potential next trades that we can take?
It's always bullish. Just wait for the retest, take it back up.
All right, everyone's saying wait for a retest, but that doesn't really help us trade, right? So what price do we wait for a retest? Because everybody can say wait for a retest, right? So what price would you be looking for in order to get in? And a retest for what direction?
Always bullish. Go up.
Not always, but the trend is bullish. So yes.
I would say retest to the 61 or the 71, or even maybe the 80, 88, but those are your three levels. 88's better. 61's good though.
Wait for a pullback at 61 or a break of the 38.2 and retest. Chris, I like that.
I like the 61 because if you look left, like look at the last resistance, and it already pushed past that. So I feel like that's a strong support. And if it breaks that, then it'll definitely go to 88.
I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. So Chris was the first one that answered it, but Stacy, I also like your answer. And yeah, so Chris and Stacy, I'm gonna talk to you guys after this. There'll be some Ethereum getting sent to you. We'll have probably four more questions before the call is done. So everybody's gonna have a chance to get some of this Ethereum in. All right.
Roy, have you noticed how I was perfectly filled the bullish move as well?
For gold?
No, for GG. To the left, we had that huge bullish push, and if you look how perfect that candle stopped, where it stopped, and then where it's pumped from, we've completely filled that move.
Right here?
Yep. So we've completely filled that move. So this isn't random.
Almost. If you look at this is the true floor. All right, so there's two things it could have done, which is actually come back and clear that liquidity double bottom and then keep going, or make a higher low. So I know a lot of people had buy limits sitting at 154 flat because they were trying to catch this perfect double bottom, and it just doesn't happen sometimes. So it's almost there, but that higher low kind of proved that the market was going to continue. This was really straightforward. These kinds of moves just tend to test our patience, because when you see a push go up like this, you see a bullish impulsive wave, and then you see a flag retracement come back down. Most of the time, you're going to get the next move is going to be a push of equal size to the first one. So that was like the base case scenario. But what it does is it stops at every conceivable fib level. It stopped at the 60 and double bottom to convince people that this was the actual buy. It stopped at the 71 minor, kind of got some people hooked up, and it loaded up some liquidity. And then it broke through, grabbed all the stops, and then ended up pushing back. So these kinds of moves took a little bit of patience, but at the end of the day, if you stay true to your strategy and you understand the fact that that the market tends to make deep retracements more often than it makes shallow retracements, then you would have taken that buy limit and been in this trade. This is going to haunt me all weekend, guys. This US 30, because I've had this markup since the beginning of the week. You guys can see when the price first touched that trend line, I was looking for long positions, third touch off the trend line, and then we had that reaction this morning, but I just didn't catch it fast enough. I saw it on my phone. I tried to move over. By the time I looked over, the price had already boosted up. A quick 1,400 pips. Yeah, guys, I'll be completely honest. I don't really see too many entries. I don't see too many entries right now. We're gonna have to wait another 4 hours for some retests. So now that the 4 hour candle is about to close, 9 a.m. market's about to open, I think we got to wait another probably 2 hours to get these retest candlesticks to come down. So the entry might not be on the streams. If you're a Chart Addicts member, of course, expect a signal. But for now, we're pretty set.
Bro, did the dollar just turn back around? Like, what the heck? Oh my God.
Let me show y'all something. This is going to change a lot of people's lives. Educators probably already know this. You get a candlestick, right? It's forming at support, or sorry, it's forming at resistance. You look over, it's bled. Okay, you look back over, it wicks back up, and there's a giant wick to the downside. For me, I just see it as a retest. This is what a retest looks like. If we go on to the 30-minute, it's a small retest, or probably even smaller. So this is what it looks like on the 5-minute. The market is just retesting the previous highs, or the previous lows, sorry, before we make another move down. So I always see this. And Stefano, when you're back testing on TradingView, it's pretty obvious sometimes. When the market drops and then pulls back and stays in this shape, the next move is usually bearish. So this thing is definitely going to keep dropping. Don't worry about that.
Nice.
We'll know that it's going to go bullish as soon as it breaks 90.2, the body of the previous candles. The body of these candles, the body of this retest right here. If we break that area, then we're bullish. But while it's retesting, it's a perfect chance to short, whatever pairs you're looking to short. Like UJ shorts are coming in perfectly right now. Third touch of the 61. Here's one test. Here's the second test. Here's that test from way back in the past. Another retest of selling, and then a potential test right now. UJ shorts make a lot of sense to me. The market dropped, came back up to test the 78, testing the 61, continuation. UJ bearish.
Jeez, goals flying.
I know that we're in some USD CAD trades. This looks the same exact. This looks like the same exact structure as the DXY. We have this consolidation. Price hit the top of the consolidation, turned around. Now price is most likely coming back to the floor. So after it hits that floor, we can come back and just look at this. Look at the trade again. But man, that CPI news. Oh, and there it is, Stefano. Came right back down.
There it is.
All right, guys. I'm not going to keep flipping through these, just explaining pairs. I feel like that's not a, it's kind of a disservice to your time. What I'll do is, if you're a Chart Addicts member, keep an eye out for signals. I'm going to stay locked in. I am looking for some entries on GJ for some re-entries, and I'm looking for some indice entries possibly later in the day. So I appreciate every single person for hopping on the live streams. I think now it's time to turn on the camera. Let's do this. I appreciate every single person for hopping on the Chart Addicts live streams. Guys, we're going to do this every single week, Thursday's New York session. We might have to start booking the time a little bit sooner, before 8 a.m., probably around 7:30, so we can catch the pre-New York session moves. We can enter our trades, sit in them for a little bit. Once the market is about to open and starts pushing, then we can take advantage. If you guys learned something from this live stream, put it in the chat below. I'm going to ask a few more questions to give out some Ethereum. While those, if you guys learned something, just put it in the chat. While those load up, I'm going to load up a few questions for you guys. Then we'll go ahead and wrap up the streams. If you're watching this at home on YouTube, I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I hope that you guys gained at least a little bit of knowledge from what we were doing. Even if you didn't get a chance to take some trades, maybe you learned something about zones, levels, structure, or price action that you can take with you to next week. So great seeing everybody here. It says Nas 100 might fly. Don't hold your breath. It might, but look how high in the trend we are. And so the closer that we get to this resistance level or this next resistance level, the more likely we are to have a huge sell-off. So Stacy, Chris, message me after this call. We'll get you guys that Ethereum. If you guys learned anything from this, just let me know later. Or if we have a call together later, just let me know. Good stuff. All right, I got a question for you guys. Based on how I trade, if you guys know how I trade in terms of discounts and premiums, where would I be looking for a buy entry on Bitcoin? Give me two potential options for entry prices that I would look to buy for Bitcoin. Roy, we have a call together later. We're going to have a serious problem. He says 34.8K. Chris, I'm not going to give you any more crypto, but I appreciate the attempt. Mr. Andrew Johnson, congratulations. Ding, 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 ding. We have a winner. All right. The way we look at markets is in terms of buying and selling interest. So let's look at selling interest and buying interest. Over here, there's selling interest. Whenever the market gets too high, it gets around this 40K range. There's less and less buyers in the market. And so sellers are stepping in and dragging the price down. Subsequently, on the other side, every time the price gets around this region, we have a reversal back up. So let's do one. Body of the candle closed above. Candlesticks closed above. And then we have this area again. So if I'm looking to buy this, am I looking to buy it right here in the middle of the range where I enter some buy position and all of a sudden I get dragged back into the drawdown? Or do I do the intelligent thing and wait for a discounted pullback and then trade the continuation of the trend. And so everybody who answered that I would wait for 34,875, you're 100% correct because we buy at discounts. Now, this is not a trick question. All right. If you guys don't answer this right, then we'll do another one. But if the market gets up to the ceiling, what's the course of action? And imagine that you're looking at this in the long term. You're not looking to scalp this. You're looking for this in the long term. If the market hits this resistance, what do you do? He said sell. Oh, man. Abdullah says wait. Yes, but there's got to be more to it. We can't just sit there and wait for the rest of our lives. It's got to be wait for blank. We have to be waiting for a call to action. Look for sells or break. Wait for a break and retest and long. Okay, Roy, I like that. I'll take that as an answer. Take partials and hold. Benji. There we go. So there's actually 3 right answers. I didn't see the one I was looking for, but you guys mentioned some really important ones. The first one is the one that Ben mentioned, which is if price gets here, you take partial profits and then you hold the trade. You hold the trade because if it retests and keeps going, you're in. If it keeps going, you're still in holding that runner. The second option is if you're scalping this, you could short it back down to like 38, 36 or whatever it is. But I said, if you're looking at this in a long-term perspective, so the direction long-term is bullish. You guys can see higher highs and higher lows. The trend is still bullish. We've had a retest. We could potentially have another break right here. So whenever the market is trending, you want to trade with the trend of the overall market. So if it comes up here, you would wait for the retest and then buy the dip. If it gets to this price, you would wait for a breakthrough, retest, and then catch the continuation. So the 2 options are either wait for a break and retest, which I'm not a very big break and retest trader because you're buying high. Instead, I would rather wait for the market to sell off, catch a reentry, and then catch the continuation of the market. All right. Does that make sense to everybody? Does that make sense to everybody at home? So Ben, I'm gonna hit you up after this for some crypto, and then Roy, we're gonna talk about this on the call for sure. All right, people. Great to see all of you guys here. I know some of you guys are at work tuning in, so you guys are hustlers for that. Have a lot of respect for people who do those kinds of things where it's like, no matter what, no matter where, I'm going to do what I need to do to get better at the skill. I hope that this was a good use of your time. I hope that you guys gained something valuable. Chris, Stacy, Roy, and Ben, I got some Ethereum for you guys after this, so stay in touch and stay in contact. If you guys have any questions, stay tuned. And I'll catch you guys next week on the Chart Addicts New York Session Sniper live streams.